What's up, Design for Purpose fans and finding your purpose fans? I hope everybody's good out there today. And before we get started, like I always do, let me remind everyone to please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. That way we can hurry up and get to the goodies. Okay, with that being said, let's get started. Um, this happened maybe 2 to 3 weeks ago, at the max a month ago. And you guys know that I'm always talking about relationships and staying true to yourself, and sometimes it's best to just adapt the single life. And you also know that I'm always saying try to get to not just get to know someone before you go deep into a relationship, but you have to learn them as well. Learn their tendencies, learn what ticks them off. You just try to learn as much as you can before you go all in. Okay, well, let's get into it. Um, you have this couple, it, Jaylan Hasty, and then you have um, Canardo. I cannot pronounce. I can't remember the last name. Not pronounce. I can't remember when doing the research. Well, anyways, they were in a good relationship, for a while. They even had a child together. But then he became overly abusive, controlling, and this, that, and the third. So, you know, she decided to, move on because she couldn't take it anymore. And then, plus, now that their daughter was there, she was trying to do right, for their daughter, show their daughter the ropes of life. But Kenardo could not handle it. As I always tell you guys, some people live by the motto, if I can't have you, nobody can. And that seems to be what's going on in today's world. It's not right. So they broke up, but he just kept stalking her, and it got to the point. She did what you were supposed to do. You're supposed to call the police, report it, tell them everything that's going on, get it on record, you know. And she did just that. She even went as far as, going to get protection for herself, such as a firearm, because he tried to break in multiple times, and she's like, no, you need to go, this and that. And he just would not take no for an answer. He kept saying he's going to get his family back. And, he snapped. He went overboard. And he ended up taking her life. So, now we're dealing with another situation where a child has to grow up without both parents because of, the the stubbornness of not wanting to let go. Obviously, you have grown apart. And in doing the research, they had her family members talking, and they actually, loved Kenardo. They actually loved, her boyfriend. They had nothing but good things to say about him up until that point where they said he just snapped. And I believe it was one of her aunts said that you can tell he loved her because she would always go over and everything seemed good. But my question is, was he putting on an act when the aunt was over? I mean, that's something we never know. People can put on acts in front of certain people, but people can also be good people and just snap. They can. But my main problem with this is, what are you supposed to do? She reported it. She even went out to get protection for herself, and it still didn't work because the police were dragging their feet. What do you do when the police fail you? Like, come on now. Now, if she would have took matters into her own hands and not even told them, then she would have looked like the bad one. I mean, no, I'm not saying that cops don't make mistakes. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, what do you do when you do your part, but the other party is not responding fast enough or not believing you? Because we are starting to see more cases like that too, where the victim does report it and they do their part, but the police fail them, whether they miss key information that is being displayed to them or whatever the case may be. But we're starting to see more cases like that, and this is it's just sad. It's sad. It really is, because they seemed to be good for a long time, and then things took a turn for the worse. And that's what people need to realize. I did a podcast about this not too long ago, where we do outgrow people. You can be in love with somebody and then fall out of love based off their actions, based off your feelings, things like that. It is possible. And maybe that's what happened in this case. And he could just not accept it. And, it's bad because they even had, it was a private investigator on this case. And my thing is, okay, you're a private investigator. You knew he had been stalking for months and months leading up to this tragedy. How come you did not report this? I mean, there's a lot of flags that were missed, and I think it could have saved Miss Hasty's life. In my opinion, it could have. Because, if you're a private investigator, you're finding out all the stuff that he's been stalking for months and months on end. Did you report this? Come on. You know, at this point, every little detail matters, and you can't afford to waste a second. It's awful. This is just totally awful. And, I wonder if he was upset at the fact that she got tired of being tired with him, but she was still, successful because, she had she had a online business. She was selling masks, and she was selling other stuff. She was very successful doing whatever it takes to, make ends meet for her family. And I wonder if he was just not willing to accept that you're not gonna do anything without me. I'm gonna be a part of your life as well as the things that you do. I'm This is just not okay. And apparently he tried to take his own life after, you know, taking her life, because they found, when the officers got to the scene, of course they saw that tragedy, but they also found him with, wounds like to the hand, arm, and things like that. I mean, and her family did say that she was trying to, that well, not trying, but she began to hide the domestic violence and the stalking. So who knows how bad it really was? Who knows? This is just, it's totally awful. I'm tired of, like, doing these stories like this, talking about this on my podcast, because it's not okay. It's really not okay. And it seems to be never ending. And the worst part about it is that these you have these children who now are growing up without a mother or a father because of their actions. This is just really, really sickening on all levels. It really is. It's sickening on all levels, and I feel sorry for Kinsley. That's their daughter. You have to grow up only knowing about your mother because you were robbed of the opportunity to get to know her, form a relationship, form a bond. Hmm. She was only 29 years old, and she was doing good for herself. As I mentioned, she had, business going. She had a growing fan base on Instagram. Um, she was her products were selling in every state according to the video that I've seen, and even um, they had some even in the outer areas, and it's just it's just awful, awful. We as people need to understand that sometimes we just start to take a different path, and the things we had on the path that we were on before we turned, sometimes they're just not going to be able to ride with us on this wave that we're going on. It's just not acceptable. It's really not. You guys, I don't know, just be aware of who you want to form a relationship with. As I said before, try to get to not only know them inside and out, but you need to learn them. Learn their tendencies. Learn what makes them tick. Learn what you can tolerate and what you can't tolerate. That way, if it starts early and you know you're not going to be able to tolerate this, get out before they get too attached. Get out before they get too attached. This type of stuff just aggravates me. That's why I said in the last podcast I did, it might be best for everyone to just start adapting to the single life. I know most people will be like, it's boring, but use that time to fix yourself. Again, use the time you're single to fix yourself, and trust and believe God will send you the right person that is supposed to be with you at that time. And who knows, that might be your soulmate. Pay attention to signs, because I think that's where a lot of people get messed up too. They ignore the signs, they ignore the feelings they have. You know, sometimes we say, "Oh no, it's just in my head." It's no. Pay attention to the signs that you're having. If you're getting an eerie feeling all the time, it's just something's not right. It may be you may not be the one for that person, and you need to step back. Or if it's the other way around, if that person is not right for you, don't let it linger. Get out while you can before the feelings get strong, because you just don't know how they'll react. Not everybody is gonna react to, take your life or anything like that. But in the world we're living in today, you cannot take chances. We we gotta be smart about it. We can't afford to live in ignorance. We gotta be smart about it. You gotta stop trying to think you can change someone, because we cannot change anyone but ourselves. If somebody wants to change, they have to change themselves. They have to put in the work. So it's just very important to know that. But you guys, just be safe, be smart, and you know try to think before you react, because we're seeing too many tragedies, you guys. Excuse me. Too many tragedies when things could be prevented. No means no. And just know we do outgrow people. Like we outgrow our clothes. We outgrow people. We change. And there's nothing wrong with that. And so don't be afraid of change. You'll make it through. But until then, you guys, just, I love you all. Check on your loved ones. Stay strong. And remember, we are all designed for a purpose. Therefore, we all have a purpose, no matter how big or small. So, if you have found your purpose, stand in it. And if you haven't found it, it's okay. Keep searching, it's there. And one more thing before I get out, just keep this family in your prayers. You know, especially especially Kinsey, the baby. Um, if I can find it, I will post it in a link. Well, I will post the link in my bio. Um, Her family did set up a GoFundMe, and that's, to help, raise, Mackenzie. Um, like I say, if I can find it, I will put the link in the bio. And with that being said, you guys stay safe out there. I love you, and I will catch you next week.